match gameplay. This time around we are on the Ruins of Enduil, playing as the Empire against the force of the High Elves. And as you may already see, we are going with a bit of a gimmicky build. Recently, it was requested that I try to do a Crusade build with Empire, and I thought that would be really fun. Honestly, the Crusade builds, where you've got Volkmar and the Knights of the Blazing Sun, and Witch Hunters and Lore of Light and all that sort of stuff, Hammer of Witches, of course, are a lot of fun. I love those builds. But Quick Match has not been kind to me. It's probably been somewhere about half dozen to 10 matches now of Empire, and I think every single one has been High Elves or Averlorn. And it's been getting on my nerves. This is not a matchup where you really want to be doing a Crusade build, because a lot of Crusading units are fire damage based, and that's pretty terrible against Dragon Princes. For example, Knights of the Blazing Sun, who are a pretty expensive investment in that situation, are terrible against Dragon Princes, so you don't want to be bringing those. And because they will almost literally do no damage. With fire damage, I'm pretty sure they're down to the minimum of 10% damage done. Before you can't factor in armor and any of that sort of stuff. So it's pretty crazy, pretty terrible. And other stuff, because of that, I suppose Lore of Fire is not all that good. Volkmar himself also doing fire damage, and kind of squishy and easy to shoot down. Not the greatest choice either. So what I decided to do, I was kind of ticked off. I was sick and tired of dealing with those darn High Elves and trying to get a nice match. So we've got a bit annoying this time. This is Ruins of Enduil, which is a pretty bad map. One of the reasons I really hate this map is because these little obstacles, especially this one over here actually, have an incredibly wide no-go zone around them. For some reason you can't deploy troops over here. And I don't know why, because let's be honest, these ruins are not covering this much space. But hey, I don't know. Regardless, for the comp, I did decide to go full ridiculousness, full ticked off cheese build. I brought Balthazar Gelt. He is coming in with Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom to nuke those fools. Double Witch Hunter, both with Accusation, also to nuke Dragon Princes, to snipe Lords, to punish Ariel, and all that sort of stuff. Front line of Swordsmen, Sigmar Sun's in there as well. Some Swordsmen on the flanks. Hammer of Witches here in the back, of course, to snipe down cavalry further. Double Demigryphs, one of which is the Royal Altar of Griffites, 2 borders to melt those infantry formations, and a single unit of Reichsguard. Now my unfortunate opponent here, who's running High Elves against Empire, decided to go with a bit of a sister shooting box. So he's got Elithanar over here, Elithanar alongside a Handmaiden. And I do apologize if I sound a little nasally. I'm got a bit of a cold, I'm a little bit sick, but which has not been helping my mood either when trying to do this. But she's got some crazy buffs. So Elithanar, and she's got these cool little items here, if we quickly gloss over them. Horn of Isha, as well as Quicksilver Shot, which gives plus 15 reload skill between them. Elithanar provides a further plus 20, somewhere in here. There we go. That means these Sisters of Averlorn have about almost double their rate of fire. It's like plus 40% or so. Down by 40. The reload speed is down by about 40% or so. It's just pretty crazy. So they're going to be able to slag any of my troops pretty efficiently. Now, alongside them, 2 spears on either end, some spears here in the back. There is no caster, which I think is a little bit of a mistake. The front line White Lions, who will be able to outtrade swordsmen, though definitely Sigmar Sons especially will trade rather well. Finally, here in the back, we do have some Illyrian Reavers looking to do probably a bit of backline harass. Now, regardless, I'm going to immediately push forward, figuring that we're just going to slug it out. And I'm going to melt him with my artillery. So shortly, the Hammer of Witches is going to start coming online, and is going to start punishing this host that is approaching. And soon we're going to see, you can see the first cannonballs coming in, just swinging and crushing the Sisters of Avalorn here. And they're really going to be pretty punishing here. Even the shots that miss, you can see just bouncing around. 7 models taking off these Sisters. And that's just the opening volleys, and we're actually trying to shoot a Elithanar. So some pretty brutal stuff. A whiff there, hitting some of the White Lions, and the Handmaiden, of course. So absolutely brutal, and a lot of power coming down. Like I said, I apologize for the nasally voice. Hopefully I feel better somewhat soon. You can see the Illyrian Reavers here are going to charge into the Swordsman, perhaps trying to shut down the Witch Hunter. I'm not entirely sure if they were going after the Swordsman or the Witch Hunter, but a bit of a mistake here. They immediately are going to get piled into by Reichsguard, and as you might imagine, Reichsguard kind of dumpsters these High Elf troops. So, in the meantime, my opponent's force has started closing in. The Sister of Avalorn, you can see, you're just unloading, but firing at the Witch Hunter, who's a small target, very hard to hit, and in the meantime, the mortars are coming down. And with this clump here, that's this beautiful clump, we're going to hit him with a Final Transmutation. You can see the Sisters here on 39 models, and we're going to see how many models they're going to lose here over the course of this curse. Unfortunately, the Everqueen's the Handmaiden is a little out of whack, but You can see these guys lost like over. This is crazy. They've lost like, I don't know, 20 models here on the Sister of Avalorn almost. And Elithanar completely nuked, now getting hit by an accusation. The mortars continue firing down, and we're just pulverizing the backline. In the meantime, the swordsmen are going to start engaging. They're going to dive into this front line. They will outtrade spearmen, I'm pretty sure. Not so good against, say, great swords, but or not great swords, white lions. But you know, the swordsmen will hold them up relatively well. People often underestimate Empire State troops. They're actually not that bad stat-wise. Certainly, they're not going to win against the heavily armored infantry, but they can hold them up for a bit, and they can buy you some time. Where, especially if there's no fear and terror involved, as is the case here. In the meantime, my opponent a bit desperate here, sniping away at Balthazar, but we have nuked these sisters with a little bit of Searing Doom, and you can see they are in full retreat. They are not having a good time. In the meantime, the cannon continues to snipe away at Elithanar, trying to teach him a lesson. You can just see that mortar fire constantly raining down. The mortars having absolutely none of it, just completely melting these troops. And the cannon finally slams Elithanar in the back. You can see he's broken now, and he's going to completely shatter. And so yeah, rough stuff for the elves. Over here in the meantime, the Illyrian Reavers commit, so we're going to swing the Demigryphs back in. We have had to be really cautious with our Demigryphs this entire game because, of course, the Sisters, if they focus fire the Demigryphs, will just wipe them out. But at this point, for my opponent, some brutal stuff. These Sisters are getting torn apart here. The Royal Demigryph Knights swinging wide. And my opponent's focused on the Reichsguard, which is a bit of a mistake here. Probably needs to be focusing on the Demigryph Knights, trying to take them down. The Witch Hunters, in the meantime, are going to be in full retreat, pulling away from these White Lions. They're going to be able to fire on the move, do a decent amount of damage. The White Lions, surprisingly tanky with that 30% missile resist. But unfortunately for these sisters, they are getting slaughtered now by the Demigryph Knights. The Royal Demigryph Knights are going to have none of this nonsense. They're going to dive in there and really start taking them down, taking Pound Town. Certainly sisters not the pushovers in melee, but against Fear, Terror, and the might of Sigmar, they really stand no chance. They're going to get driven off. And with that, my opponent's army is essentially going to snap and break. The Reichsguard here sacrificing it all for the greater good, but at this point, it's going to be GG for the Empire's forces. So a bit of a salty match. I do kind of apologize to my opponent, Sausage Ninja. He was on the receiving end of a pretty nasty strategy here. Not necessarily, I'm not even sure it's necessarily the most competitive, but it is definitely a hard. I tried to go as brutal as possible against the High Elves. I will continue trying to get you guys a Crusade build. I promised I will do my very best to get one. Honestly, I'm not joking when I say I love playing them. I really do enjoy Crusade builds. They're a lot of fun, but not against High Elves. But mostly because of Dragon Princes, but they're just rather hard to execute, I think, against the High Elves, and so I'm personally not a fan of it. I will, however, like I said, I will keep trying. I will hopefully get you guys one fairly shortly. So unfortunately for my opponent, this is not necessarily the most competitive build. I know some people try to do this sort of Elithanar, Handmaiden stuff, but it really forces you to blob, and as you saw, that just gets you nuked by mortar fire, gets you nuked by artillery fire, the hammer of which is ranking 70 you want to kills, most of those against Sister of Avalorn, so it paid for itself. It slaughtered Elithanar, and almost all of its kills were against units that cost as much as it does, basically. So just monstrous work out of this cannon, and this is really not what you want happening. The mortars, although it doesn't show, did a lot of HP damage, and they really disrupted and screwed up that formation. And Balthazar, of course, got a monstrous nuke there with that final transmutation, probably racking up somewhere around 15 kills or so on every one of those sisters, which is just brutal. And the Witch Hunters, of course, further providing support. Just a really nasty build, and I admit it's nasty, but I was honestly sick and tired of High Elves. I don't know why people choose High Elves into the Empire. I understand it's not as bad as, say, Bretonnia. The matchup is much more even and much more fairly balanced, and certainly it can go either way because Empire can bring certain tricks up its sleeve like this, or it can bring a steam tank or faith demis, and there's all sorts of shenanigans Empire can play. At the same time, High Elves also have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, so it's especially as far as Alariel goes, and Teclis, and Nobles, and various play of that sort. So it's a bit all over the place, but I was just sick and tired of it, and that is why I brought this build. And apologies to Sausage Ninja there. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed this salty rant. I do apologize. I'm a bit under the weather. Hopefully I'll be better soon, and I'm not going to sound like I don't know, talking through a straw or whatever. It probably sounds pretty horrible, but I do apologize for that. If you have any comments, any criticism, as usual, do not hesitate to put them down below. I'll respond as soon as I can. Hopefully we'll be getting more content in regards to the Vampire Coast as the weeks progress, and hopefully I'll be able to keep you guys updated on that. There might be some more speculation videos coming along as well, so yeah, be sure to keep a lookout for those. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.